With the new millennium and technological advances rapidly changing the world we live in, people are searching for inner peace and contentment. Probably with more intensity than ever before, time speeds along faster and faster. It has been said over the years that youth is wasted on the young. But the times are changing, and we've come to an era where wisdom has the ever-increasing ability to be combined with youth. Many years ago, plastic surgery was thought to be enjoyed only by the rich and famous. Yet advancements over the years have brought everyone the choice of enriching their personal and professional lives. It could be said that this is merely cosmetic, but as one looks deeply into the mirror, who's to say? Employing the use of laser and other high-tech procedures, surgery is now something that is virtually painless, and in the end gives the patient something that is priceless: contentment.
Hello, I'm Ruta Lee. I've spent my life in show business, and I bet we've shared a little time together thanks to either the big or the little screen. Now, you know, being in show business, I've learned a great deal about beauty, both real and manufactured. I learned from the masters of health, the gurus, that health is essential to beauty and style and pizzazz. I learned from the wizards of lighting, the subtleties of beautiful light and shadow in creating beauty on a face. And then, of course, from those magicians, the makeup artists, I learned all about makeup. But you know something? There comes a time in all of our lives, be we man or woman, when we can't carry with us our lighting designer and our makeup artists. So you turn to something that lasts a little longer, like plastic surgery. Well, sometimes it's a scary thought, so I wanted to learn a lot about it. I asked for the best, and I got him. He's a master of cosmetic surgery, and his name is Dr. Edward Domanskis.
Hi, Ruta. Hello. I'd like to show you how you could do your part to make the world a more beautiful place. Was that good?
Oh, that was better than I could have done. Come with us, dear one. We have things to share with you.
Dr. Domanskis practices plastic and cosmetic surgery in Southern California and has been doing so for more than 15 years. Certified by the American Board of Plastic Surgery and a member of the American Society of Plastic and Reconstructive Surgeons, he is a recognized expert who has consulted with more than 10,000 patients worldwide. Having lectured internationally, his innovative techniques and surgical procedures have garnered wide critical acclaim.
All of this is very important and fine and dandy because we all know that you must check out the credentials of your surgeon before any procedure. But you know, there's more to it, good doctor. There's more to it than credentials. How does one know they're getting a good surgeon?
Well, I think credentials, as you mentioned, are very, very important. But also hospital affiliations are important. And also you want to make sure that the plastic surgeon is doing the procedures that you are interested in having done. But I think what's most important is that there's a connection between the patient and the doctor, and that means heart.
Heart, my favorite subject. And I have to tell you, dear ones, that I've done a little homework on the good Dr. Domanskis, and I want to share this with you. His heart is in the right place. Do you know that this man volunteers to fly around the world treating children with procedures, children who couldn't even get in to see a doctor, adults as well. These humanitarian efforts have been talked about in many a magazine article. He was also featured by Brian Gumbold and his television show Public Eye. Another interesting factor about him is that he is the doctor that represents the Lithuanian Olympic team, which I think is kind of interesting. So not only are you a great patriot of America's, you're a great patriot of Lithuania's as well, and I'm proud to have you as a friend.
Ruta, you're embarrassing me.
All right. Enough. Let's get back to plastic surgery. Okay. Have you ever considered plastic surgery? I bet you have. You know, a little lift here and a little tuck here and maybe bob the nose. Ah, come on, anybody who's ever looked in a mirror has considered it. And when you stop and think of all the money that is being spent every day, billions of dollars on exercise equipment, on facials, on makeup, on creams, and what are we all looking for? Our youth? Maybe. Or is it a sense of fulfillment, of self-worth, of contentment? Definitely.
I chose Dr. Damascus because I saw one of his patients that was in Palm Springs, and I found out that she'd had liposuction done on part of her body, and the woman looked fabulous. And when I found out the age of her, I mean, she was in her late 50s, and I'm telling you, the woman looked no more than 35 years old.
Let's talk about what I call the ultimate spa, plastic surgery. A place where you can go and within a relatively short period of time, you look at yourself in the mirror and you smile. Oh, now look, I am not discounting exercise and diet. Lord knows we all have to have that to have a healthy body. But you know, sometimes plastic surgery, the fine, fine art of plastic surgery, is exactly what the doctor ordered. And doctor, thank you for sharing your expertise with us today.
My pleasure, Ruta.
Now, I have to ask you a question. What made you go into plastic surgery?
To me, plastic surgery is the closest between art and medicine that there is, and I felt that I could use my talents in helping other people through that field.
A field you love, and there's an art to keeping yourself together too, but genetics comes into play.
Yes, that's true, and as you know, genetics is probably the greatest determinant on how a person ages. No matter how many creams you use, no matter how much makeup, it comes down to the genetics.
We all have great fears and trepidations, but I think two of the prominent ones are, first of all, is it going to hurt? Ouch, how much pain is there? And the second is an ouch also. How much is this going to hurt my wallet and my pocketbook? Nobody likes to suffer.
I agree with you. I don't think anyone likes to have pain. And what we've tried to do over the years is try to minimize that. I think that when I was in medical school, we admitted the patient for 7 days to do a facelift or eyelid surgery. Now it's done as an outpatient. The anesthesia is improved tremendously. The outpatient facilities have improved. They're all accredited that we use. And so I think it's made it much easier for the patient to go through the particular surgeries.
So what about that other ouch?
I think that's always of concern. And I think that even with our new techniques, with the new equipment, we've been able to hold our prices over the last several years. And also, I don't think people are aware that we have many, many financing options available. Not only credit cards, but also other payment plans that a patient can have in order to finance the surgery, so it becomes much more affordable to actually everyone.
Well, it must be more affordable because more people are doing it. I mean, it's really becoming kind of chic, isn't it?
I think it's always been chic, but now actually I think it's become much more acceptable with everyone.
Even men are doing it more now, aren't they?
Believe it or not, within the last several years, there was a statistic that's very surprising. The amount of cosmetic surgery in men has increased by 64%. And I've seen an increasing percentage of men in my practice also.
I guess what it all comes down to, whether you're a man or a woman, is feeling good about yourself.
I think when it's all said and done, what we want is the patient look in the mirror, they look and see a natural result, they feel good about themselves. I think that's the goal of fine plastic surgery.
Yes. You know, it's very important that you know your doctor and that you trust your doctor, which is why I introduced you today to Dr. Damascus, because he's the doctor in whose hands I would put my face. When it comes down to surgery, it comes down to your research and your trust. Whose hands do you put that trust in? Well, from my research, I can't imagine a doctor with more talent or more heart than Dr. Ed Damascus. If you, like me, are considering plastic surgery, I would suggest that you visit with the good doctor and his staff. You will find it a most comfortable experience.
You can reach Dr. Damascus at area code 949-640-6324 or on the World Wide Web at www.surgery-plastic.com.
Now we have two patients of Dr. Damascus, Carmen Dendecker, James McLean. Thank you for being with us.
It's a pleasure.
We're going to be following you two through your surgeries, the before, during, and after. Carmen, if I might, I'd like to start with you. Why did you choose elective surgery?
Well, Ruta, I am 64 years old, and I look in the mirror and I see this waddle, and I see these grooves, and I look older than 64 years old, and I want to look like my old self again. I don't like this whole thing. It's very depressing to me.
You are in communications, am I right?
That's right. And in communications, your first impression is very, very important. And I don't feel like I make a very good impression with all of this hanging on my face.
Has anybody tried to dissuade you?
Oh, yes, all the time, but they're just being very kind. Very kind. And they're the same people, however, who will ask me, why is it that I look so tired? But I know the truth, and I know the difference it'll make when this is gone.
Are you feeling a little bit nervous about this?
I was a little bit nervous until I met Dr. Demanskas. The minute I met Dr. Demanskas, I knew this is the artist. This is the man that is going to get rid of this artfully for me. And on top of that, the price was right.
Honey, what are you expecting?
Well, I certainly don't expect to look like Audrey Hepburn. I want my old face back. And I don't mean old, I mean young old face back. I just want to get rid of all the excess skin in my face.
Do you feel that there's risk in all of this?
Oh, there's a risk with everything, isn't there? Life is a risk. But unless you do something, if you want to live, really live, there are risks involved. So, what big risk is it? No, there's no risk as far as I'm concerned.
Now, James, I guess basically the same question. Why have you chosen to have plastic surgery?
I think it's just time to undo some of the ravages of time. I've been rather active most of my life, native Californian, been out in the sun a lot, and I've taken a toll on myself, and let's just call it a little restoration.
Now, you've always been involved in sports all of your life. I mean, I think there was football and car racing and tennis.
Yes, and skiing, and it's been a lot of things that have exposed my face to the elements, and not always in the best way. Coming away with horrible sunburns after 4-day race weekends, the bitter cold of Colorado, and what have you. And it's taken a nasty little toll, and it's just time to tune it all up and put it back the way it was.
You're a very athletic, macho kind of guy in my mind. Do you have a little reticence about having the surgery and maybe telling anybody about it?
Not at all. I mean, my goodness, I'm in business, and there's a great difference between looking distinguished and extinguished. And before I look extinguished, I like to stay distinguished a little while.
Good. When it comes down to surgery, it comes down to your research and your trust. Whose hands do you put that trust in? Well, from my research, I can't imagine a doctor with more talent or more heart than Dr. Ed Demanskas. If you, like me, are considering plastic surgery, I would suggest that you visit with the good doctor and his staff. You will find it a most comfortable experience.
You can reach Dr. Demanskas at area code 949-640-6324 or on the World Wide Web at www.surgery-plastic.com.